Alert! Time is up. The doors are closing now. But can you feel it, chosen one? Something is pulling you into this exact moment, and if you ignore it, you may never get this chance again. Something has happened, something that changed everything, yet few have truly noticed. Thousands have already left, but many remain trapped, unaware that the clock is hitting zero. Have you felt it? That uneasy sensation in the past few days? As if the air is heavier, as if an invisible weight surrounds you, as if something deep inside you is trying to warn you? This is not paranoia. This is not coincidence. This is a calling. And if you're hearing this message right now, it means you still have a choice. But that choice must be made now. Because the truth is, not everyone sees what's happening. Many continue living as if nothing has changed, caught in routine, distracted, waiting for an obvious sign, waiting for undeniable proof. But those who wait for proof are already falling behind. The first ones have already crossed. They felt the call and followed it. But the majority, they are still asleep. They don't realize the doors are already closing, and soon, there will be no turning back. So now I ask you, chosen one, do you feel like you are part of this moment? Do you feel that something inside you already knows the answer, even if your mind is still trying to understand? If so, then listen closely, because the time for hesitation is over. You must choose. Will you ignore this sign? Will you pretend nothing is happening? Or will you open your eyes and see that this is the moment you've been waiting for your entire life? Because listen closely, chosen one. The departure has already begun, and those who don't cross now may remain trapped forever. But there is one detail no one is noticing, and it changes everything. If you feel this calling, if something inside you is telling you this makes sense, then type in the comments right now, I am ready. Not for me, not for this video, but as a commitment to yourself, to your journey, to your awakening, because what I'm about to tell you could change everything. What you're feeling right now is not new. You have sensed this before, chosen one. That feeling of being out of place, that certainty that something greater is happening. You may not have been able to explain it, but you felt it. Maybe you ignored it. Maybe you tried to fit in. Maybe you thought it was all in your head. But now you can't deny it anymore. The signs are everywhere. People around you are changing. Some have simply vanished from your life. Time seems to be accelerating. Days slipping by faster. Have you noticed it? Like a cycle is coming to an end? Like a new chapter is about to begin? This is no accident. The universe is moving the pieces, and you are in the middle of it all, chosen one. But here's the danger. Not everyone will see this in time. Some have already crossed over and are walking their path, but many are trapped, and they don't even realize it. They keep living, exactly as before, believing nothing has changed, not noticing that the doors are closing. And what happens when the doors close? What happens when time runs out and someone still hasn't realized they needed to leave? They are left behind. And the truth is, this is already happening. Chosen one, you must make a choice now. You feel this calling, but will you ignore it? Will you make the same mistake as most and let this moment pass you by? Or will you decide that you are ready? Because this is the final call. If you feel this message is for you, type in the comments, I am ready. This is not just a comment, it is a commitment. And now that you've made this decision, I need to tell you what is really happening. Because no one is telling you this truth. But I will show you now. The signs are everywhere. Are you seeing them? Chosen one, have you noticed? The world is not the same anymore. Something has changed. The energy is different. People are changing. You can feel it in the air, in every glance, in every silence that weighs more than it should. But what exactly is happening? It's as if an invisible force is rearranging everything around us, yet few are aware of it. Most remain trapped in autopilot, ignoring the signs that are already everywhere. But you feel that something bigger is unfolding right before your eyes, don't you? Maybe you can't explain it, but deep inside something tells you this change is real. Lately, many people have been noticing signs that this transition has already begun. Strange dreams and hidden messages. Have you been dreaming more than usual? Dreams that feel intense, almost real, as if they are coded messages trying to warn you about something. Many people report dreaming of portals, unknown places, goodbyes, as if something is about to happen. This is not a coincidence. This is a calling, chosen one. But these dreams don't just come at night. Have you ever felt like you were living moments that don't feel like yours? Small lapses in time, as if you are here, but at the same time somewhere else? It's as if your consciousness is already beginning to separate from the old reality. People and situations disappearing from your life suddenly. Have you noticed that out of nowhere, some people have simply left your path? Friendships that once seemed strong now no longer make sense. Places that once brought you comfort now feel empty. What once interested you no longer touches you. But something even deeper is happening. Some of these people who have drifted away, do they seem stuck in a cycle that keeps repeating? You try to talk to them but feel like they're not really listening. Like they're living inside a script, trapped in a reality that no longer belongs to you. This doesn't mean something is wrong. It means something is changing, chosen one. A feeling that something big is about to happen. Do you feel it? It's almost like a chill down your spine, an intuition you can't explain. Like a page is turning. Like we are on the verge of something enormous. Like an invisible countdown is in progress. Chosen one, this feeling is not just inside you. Look around. The sky looks different. The colors are more intense. Something is shifting, and few are noticing. Have you seen it? The sunset is stronger. The clouds look different. And the animals? Many are behaving strangely. There are reports of birds flying in unusual patterns, whales beaching themselves, animals leaving regions without explanation, as if they sense something that most people have yet to see. The signs are everywhere, chosen one. Time is not just speeding up, it's slipping away like sand through your fingers. What once took months now happens in days. Changes that seemed slow are now like a whirlwind. Days and nights passing in the blink of an eye. Do you feel the weeks dissolving, only to realize another month has already gone? What once felt far away is now happening in an instant. It's as if we are being pulled toward an unavoidable point, and those who understand these signs in time are leaving, but few can see it. Do you see it, chosen one? Are you seeing what many still cannot? And now the question is, are you ready for what comes next? You have been deceived your entire life. Chosen one. Everything you know about your life, about the world, about reality, was carefully constructed to keep you trapped. From the moment you were born, an invisible program was installed within you, so subtle and masterfully designed that you never realized you were inside a prison. The system has lied to you. It made you believe that all that exists is only what you can see, touch, and measure. But that has always been the greatest illusion. The truth was hidden, and whenever someone got too close to it, they were silenced. They placed invisible chains around you. From an early age, you were taught to obey without question, to follow a path that was never yours. They told you what to think, what to feel, what is possible and what is impossible. But this prison has no bars, no walls, because it was built inside your mind. They made you believe that your life was already written, that you had to follow the rules, accept the conditions imposed on you, and never try for anything beyond what was predetermined. They told you this was how life worked for everyone, that it was normal to feel empty, exhausted, disconnected. But the truth was always hidden, and those who began to see it were called insane. Every time someone dared to question this reality, they were ridiculed, discredited, cast aside. But now, what was once a whisper has become a roar. The veil is lifting and you are beginning to see. Why do you think the same people who control the world work so hard to make sure you believe in nothing beyond what they show you? Why is it that every time someone awakens, the system fights back with everything it has? Your eyes, don't you? Maybe you can't explain it, but deep inside, something tells you this change is real. Chosen one. Have you ever wondered why, from childhood, you were taught that certain topics are off limits? Why they laughed at your intuition, dismissed your dreams, and forced you to believe that reality is only what your eyes can see? This was never an accident. The Matrix is not a movie. It is real, and you are living inside it. But if that's true, then the question is, how do you escape? The first thing you need to understand is that the system never wanted you to see the exits. They kept you distracted at all times. They created an exhausting routine so you wouldn't have time to reflect. They instilled fear in you, convinced you that anything outside the norm is dangerous, and in doing so, they kept you trapped inside the game. But some are beginning to wake up. You, chosen one, have felt for a long time that something isn't right, haven't you? Like the life they showed you never really made sense? But there's something no one is telling you. The control runs deeper than you think. Everything has been designed to keep you asleep. The media, the education system, the definitions of right and wrong. All of it was shaped to ensure you never question. To make sure you accept what they say, follow the rules, obey without resistance. But what if I told you it's all an illusion? Have you noticed that every time someone questions this system, they are attacked? That everything that could lead you to the truth has been labeled as a conspiracy theory, fantasy, or madness? Have you realized how everything that could set you free is ridiculed? And now that you know this, chosen one, I ask you, are you content to keep playing this game? Because here's the harshest truth. Most will never wake up. They will continue following the system, denying, mocking, disbelieving. They will choose the prison because it's comfortable, but you feel it. You know it. Something inside you is screaming that there is more than this. And those who feel it now must act because time is running out. And now, the choice is yours. There is something no one is telling you. The control goes far beyond what you can imagine. Everything has been designed to keep you asleep. The media, the education system, the ideas of right and wrong that were imposed on us. Everything was carefully molded to ensure that you never question anything, to make you accept what you are told, to follow the rules, to obey without resistance. But what if I told you that this is nothing more than an illusion? Have you noticed that whenever someone questions this system, they are attacked? That anything that could lead you to see the truth has been labeled as a conspiracy theory, fantasy, or madness? Have you realized how everything that could set you free is ridiculed? And now that you know this, chosen one, I ask you, are you satisfied with continuing this game? Because here is the harshest truth of all. Most will never wake up. They will continue following the system. They will keep denying, mocking, disbelieving. They will choose the prison because it is comfortable, but you feel it. You know it. Something inside you is screaming that there is more than this. And those who feel it now must act. If you feel that you have been deceived your entire life, and that now, finally, you are beginning to see, then type in the comments, I see the truth, because what I am about to reveal could change everything. The proof that you are one of the chosen one. You have always known you were different. But now, you need to understand why. Since childhood, you felt that something was off, that this world never really made sense to you. While everyone else seemed to fit so easily into the system, you always asked yourself, why do I feel like there's something more? Maybe you tried to ignore it. Maybe you tried to adapt. But deep down, that feeling never left. And now you need to know the truth. There are signs. And if you have experienced at least 3 of them, then the answer is already inside you. You have always felt out of place. Since childhood, you sensed that you didn't fully belong to this world. While others followed patterns, rules, and systems without question, you always felt that internal unrest. You looked around and saw people living on autopilot, but deep inside, something told you there was so much more. How many times did you try to talk about what you felt, only to receive empty stares in return, as if no one truly understood? That's because you weren't meant to fit in. You were meant to wake up. You have vivid dreams and visions. Have you ever dreamed of places you've never been? Of people who seem familiar yet you've never met? As if your soul is trying to send you messages, trying to remind you of something your conscious mind cannot access. These are not ordinary dreams. They are fragments of something much bigger. Many chosen ones report feeling like they are receiving instructions, codes, or even memories of something that was erased. If this happens to you, don't ignore it. Your mind is trying to remember who you really are. People around you often judge you. Have you noticed how throughout your life many people looked at you like you were too different? Like they couldn't understand the way you see the world? Many times the chosen ones are rejected because their energy disrupts those who are still trapped in the illusion. How many friendships have you lost just for being authentic? How many times have you been called too complicated or too intense simply because you feel the world more deeply? But there is one sign that almost no one notices, and it confirms that you are truly one of the chosen. You feel that something big is about to happen. No matter how many times they tried to convince you that life is just this, that you should simply go with the flow, you never fully believed it. Because deep inside, you know a great change is coming. That sense of urgency, that feeling that the world is shifting, that something within you is preparing for a specific moment. This is not a coincidence. You are being called. And here's the truth. Chosen one, you are not alone. Many are waking up. Many are feeling exactly what you are feeling right now, but the majority is still asleep, and the time to wake up is running out. If you have experienced 3 or more of these signs, type 333 in the comments now. This is not just a number. It is a confirmation, and if you have made it this far, it means there is something even more important that very few people realize. And I am about to tell you now. What could stop your departure? Chosen one. The truth is that not everyone will be able to leave. Some will remain trapped forever. Many have already felt the call. Many have already noticed that something bigger is happening. But few, very few, will have the courage to cross over. And not because they are not worthy, but because there are invisible forces trying to hold them back. Forces that prevent the transition. And if you are not careful, you may end up trapped in them without even realizing it. There are 3 barriers that keep people imprisoned in this cycle. 3 invisible chains that prevent ascension. Many will not be able to leave because they are still tied to what is temporary. They are so obsessed with status, money, power, and validation that they cannot see beyond it. They are so buried in the distractions of the system that they do not even realize that something greater is happening. But listen carefully, chosen one. All of this is going to collapse. This illusion of control, of superficial achievements, of so-called security in material things, will crumble. And those who cling to this world, unable to let go, will fall along with it. The transition requires detachment. It requires that you understand that what truly matters cannot be bought or controlled. Now tell me, are you ready to let go of what is keeping you trapped? Maybe you feel afraid just thinking about it. Maybe a voice inside you is trying to convince you that it's better to wait, that the right time hasn't arrived yet. But here's the truth. Waiting may be your greatest mistake. The second fatal mistake, fear. Your mind was programmed to reject everything it cannot understand, to run from the new, to cling to what is familiar, even when it is destroying you. And that is why many will choose to stay behind. Not because they cannot leave, but because they are afraid to let go of what they already know. Fear is the most powerful prison there is. And do you know the greatest trap of all? The system made you believe that the unknown is dangerous. Since childhood, you were taught to fear change. You were told that stepping off the normal path was risky, that questioning too much could lead to failure. But now you feel the call. You feel something pulling you forward. And at this moment, you have only 2 choices. You either move forward, or you stay trapped forever. Chosen one, you feel the call. But will you have the courage to follow it? This is the cruelest mistake of all. The system has spent your entire life making you believe that you are not strong enough, that you are not special, that you are just one more. And that is why, when the moment of transition arrives, many doubt themselves. They think maybe they are not worthy, maybe they are not ready, maybe they need to wait just a little longer. But here's the secret. The time for waiting is over. Doubt was implanted inside you to keep you weak, to make you believe that you need the approval of something external before you can move forward. But the truth is, no one can stop you, except yourself. Time is running out. The moment of decision has come. If you feel the need to break free, say it now. I set myself free. This is not just a statement. It is a commitment to yourself. Because if you don't fix this now, it may be too late. The change has already begun. Chosen one, look around you. Do you feel it? Something is different. Time feels faster. People are changing. Everything that once felt solid is now crumbling before your eyes. For so long, they tried to convince you that everything has always been and will always be the same. But now, the signs are everywhere. If you pay attention, you will see that something is happening on a global scale. The world is undergoing a massive transformation, and very few are noticing. Things that used to be rare are now happening at an absurd frequency. The planet itself seems to be reacting. Earthquakes in unexpected places, unstable weather patterns, mysterious lights appearing in the sky, captured on cameras worldwide. The Earth's magnetic field is shifting, affecting not just animals but people as well. Do you feel it? That sensation that the energy around you is not the same anymore, like everything is vibrating differently. This is not a coincidence, and you are not the only one feeling it. Something much deeper is happening within people. Have you noticed that more and more individuals are questioning reality? Before, almost, no one talked about this. Now more and more people feel that something bigger is happening. People who once followed the system without question are now waking up in the middle of the night with an uneasiness they can't explain. Something inside them has changed. Suddenly, what once made sense feels empty. What once seemed important now feels meaningless. But not everyone is waking up. Many are still trapped in the system. Many will continue sleeping. The truth is, not everyone was called for this transition. And what if I told you? The truth has always been right in front of your eyes. Movies, music, TV shows, all of these have been used to hide information in plain sight. But now, what once seemed like fiction is starting to make sense. Have you noticed how, lately, everything seems to be about awakening? As if some invisible force has been guiding humanity toward an inevitable point? This is not a coincidence. The system always knew this moment would come. And while most saw these messages as just entertainment, the chosen ones were being prepared. And here's something almost no one realizes. Time is running out. This change is not something that will happen someday. It is already happening. And the sooner you realize it, the more prepared you will be. But most people remain blind, clinging to the old reality, desperately trying to maintain a routine that is already collapsing. Do you see it? People who once seemed so certain of everything now seem lost, as if the very ground beneath their feet is disappearing. Because it is. The old world is vanishing. What comes next is something only a few will be able to understand. Chosen one, you see the signs. You feel this shift. Now the only question that matters is, will you ignore it, or will you answer the call? If you feel that something is happening, say it now. I see the change. This is not just a statement. It is confirmation that you are awake. The truth is right in front of you. But now comes the most important part. What comes next? The new earth is ready, and you need to understand what that means. Chosen one, close your eyes for a moment and imagine. Imagine a world without fear, without pain, without control. A place where your energy is free to shine, where you don't have to hide, where everything you've always felt inside finally makes sense. This place is not a distant dream. It is real. It already exists. And it is ready for those who can see beyond the veil. The new earth is not just a concept. It is a state of consciousness, a frequency that only a few can reach. And here's the secret. It is already here. It has always been here. But only those who let go of the old world can cross over. Now look at your own life. Do you feel like certain things that once made sense now seem artificial? That places, people, and situations seem to be dissolving as if they were never real? This is happening because you are shifting your vibration. What belongs to the old world cannot exist. In the new earth, everything built on fear, suffering, and control is collapsing, and only what is true will remain. In the new earth, there is no fear, because fear was always an illusion designed to keep you trapped. There is no pain, because pain was programmed into you to make you believe that life must be suffering. There is no control, because manipulation is unnecessary when each being lives in their purest truth. Now imagine a world where you can be who you truly are, without masks, without limits. A world where you don't have to fight to survive, where scarcity doesn't exist, where everything flows naturally. Can you feel this energy? It is within your reach, but not everyone will access it. The system conditioned you to believe that this was impossible. They made you believe that this world was all there is. They programmed you to accept scarcity, pain, and endless struggle. But none of it was ever real. It was just a game. And now, that game is ending. You've already seen it happening. Some people are moving forward with lightness, clarity, and peace, as if they have discovered a new way to exist, while others seem more trapped than ever in confusion, chaos, and fear. The separation has already begun. The first ones have already crossed. And now, there is only one question left. Where will you be? Chosen one. The new earth is not a future world. It is already being built now. And the only thing preventing you from entering it is how much you are willing to abandon the old world. How much you are willing to release the chains of illusion. and accept that you are always free. And here is something that few understand. The new earth cannot be accessed by those who still carry the patterns of the old world. If you are still vibrating in fear, attachment, or doubt, you cannot cross over. Only those who choose to let go of the illusion can take the next step. The choice is yours. Do you feel this call? Do you feel that you were born for this new world? If so, say it now. I am ready. This is not just a statement. It is a commitment. This is the cruelest mistake of all. The system has spent your entire life making you believe that you are not strong enough, that you are not special, that you are just one more. And that is why, when the moment of transition arrives, many doubt themselves. They think maybe they are not worthy, maybe they are not ready, maybe they need to wait just a little longer. But here's the secret. The time for waiting is over. Doubt was implanted inside you to keep you weak, to make you believe that you need the approval of something external before you can move forward. But the truth is, no one can stop you, except yourself. Time is running out. The moment of decision has come. If you feel the need to break free, say it now. I set myself free. This is not just a statement. It is a commitment to yourself. Because if you don't fix this now, it may be too late. The change has already begun. Chosen one, look around you. Do you feel it? Something is different. Time feels faster. People are changing. Everything that once felt solid is now crumbling before your eyes. For so long, they tried to convince you that everything has always been and will always be the same. But now, the signs are everywhere. If you pay attention, you will see that something is happening on a global scale. The world is undergoing a massive transformation, and very few are noticing. Things that used to be rare are now happening at an absurd frequency. The planet itself seems to be reacting. Earthquakes in unexpected places, unstable weather patterns, mysterious lights appearing in the sky, captured on cameras worldwide. The Earth's magnetic field is shifting, affecting not just animals but people as well. Do you feel it? That sensation that the energy around you is not the same anymore? Like everything is vibrating differently? This is not a coincidence, and you are not the only one feeling it. Something much deeper is happening within people. Have you noticed that more and more individuals are questioning reality? Before, almost no one talked about this. Now more and more people feel that something bigger is happening. People who once followed the system without question are now waking up in the middle of the night with an uneasiness they can't explain. Something inside them has changed. Suddenly, what once made sense feels empty. What once seemed important now feels meaningless. But not everyone is waking up. Many are still trapped in the system. Many will continue sleeping. The truth is, not everyone was called for this transition. And what if I told you? The truth has always been right in front of your eyes. Movies, music, TV shows, all of these have been used to hide information in plain sight. But now, what once seemed like fiction is starting to make sense. Have you noticed how lately, everything seems to be about awakening? As if some invisible force has been guiding humanity toward an inevitable point? This is not a coincidence. The system always knew this moment would come. And while most saw these messages as just entertainment, the chosen ones were being prepared. And here's something almost no one realizes. Time is running out. This change is not something that will happen someday. It is already happening. And the sooner you realize it, the more prepared you will be. But most people remain blind, clinging to the old reality, desperately trying to maintain a routine that is already collapsing. Do you see it? People who once seemed so certain of everything now seem lost, as if the very ground beneath their feet is disappearing. Because it is. The old world is vanishing. What comes next is something only a few will be able to understand. Chosen one, you see the signs. You feel this shift. Now the only question that matters is, will you ignore it, or will you answer the call? If you feel that something is happening, say it now. I see the change. This is not just a statement. It is confirmation that you are awake. And if you already feel your energy shifting, if you are leaving behind everything that no longer belongs in your life, say, I am already on my way. But there is one key you need, and very few have found it. The key to ascension, chosen one. Now you already know that the new earth is real. It is not a distant place, but a state of consciousness. And only those who are ready will be able to cross over. But how can you ensure that you will be one of them? How can you be sure that you won't be left behind? Here's the truth. There is a portal, but it cannot be crossed by just anyone. Crossing requires more than just desire. It requires preparation. You must be vibrating at the right frequency. You must let go of what keeps you tied to the old world. You must remember why you came here. The first key to ascension is vibrational elevation. Everything in the universe is energy. What you feel, what you think, what you do, everything vibrates at a certain frequency. And right now, two realities are separating. The old world, sinking into fear, and the new earth, vibrating in freedom. You can only access the new earth if you are vibrating at its same frequency. Look at your life. Do you feel that your energy is different? That some people no longer resonate with you? That certain places drain you, while others make you feel light? This happens because your vibration is already changing. But to cross completely, you must maintain that higher frequency. This means letting go of destructive patterns, distancing yourself from everything that pulls you down, and consciously choosing where to place your attention and energy. But here's a silent danger. The closer you get to ascension, the more the old world tries to pull you back. How many times have you felt progress, only to suddenly be consumed by doubt, fear, or exhaustion? This is not a coincidence. The system does not want you to cross. It needs you to keep vibrating in fear and limitation because without that, it ceases to exist. The second key to ascension is detachment from the old world. Many want the new earth, but they are still carrying the patterns of the old world. That is impossible. You cannot cross while still clinging to fear, scarcity, and the need for control. The old world taught you that you need to struggle, compete, and survive. But the new earth does not work like that. Imagine a bird trying to fly while holding onto an anchor. No matter how hard it flaps its wings, it will never leave the ground. That is what happens to those who try to bring the old world with them. You must release the anchor. You must let go of everything that no longer serves you. Toxic relationships, limiting beliefs, the need to prove something to others. If you still hold on to what keeps you trapped, you will never fly. To cross, you must trust. Trust that something greater is guiding everything. Trust that you don't need to control every step, that everything unfolds in the right way at the right time. You must let go, but few are ready for this. Most still want guarantees. They want proof. They want to hold on to what is familiar. But those who wait for certainty will never cross. And here is the final key: connection with your true mission. Do you think you are here by chance? You feel this calling because you came here for this. You were not born to follow the system. You were not born to live on autopilot. You were born to remember who you truly are. Chosen one. If you feel this call within you, then your mission has already begun. But there is something you need to understand. Ascension does not happen outside of you. It happens within. When you change your vibration, the world around you changes with you. When you release the old, the new manifests. When you reconnect with your mission, everything aligns. Now the question is, are you ready to cross? If so, say it now. I choose to ascend. This is not just a statement. It is a declaration of commitment. And if you already feel your energy shifting, if you are leaving behind everything that no longer belongs in your life, say, I am already on my way. But pay attention. If you want to cross, you must understand this truth.